Jets, Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I've got an exciting one for you guys in this episode. I am going to be talking about a prospect that I think you should watch out for at pick 7. That I think the Jets could be really interested, and it is a position of need. But before we get into that, if you have been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I always love having you guys here. If you are new here, welcome back. I always love having new people in here, whether you are a Jets fan or a fan of another team. You are always welcome in the Jets Ward, no matter what. This is a safe space for you. But it is draft time, guys. There's been mock drafts going about teams that players you should be interested in. Everybody's been getting their teams, their big boards set, getting ready. The draft is the end of this month, which is really, really exciting. I'm going live the first night of the draft, which I am excited for. But there are players that have been talked about going to a lot of different teams that have a lot of different strengths. And to the Jets, it seems like they are down to about 3. It seems, well, more than that, most likely 4 if you're interested in the quarterback at pick 7, which I'm not. But the big players that we've heard with the Jets, Tyler Warren, tight end of Penn State, which I think would be a solid pick for the Jets. Tight end a little high at 7, that I've always said, but I'm growing more on that position, and especially with him being a solid blocker and great in pass catching as well, runs great routes. Tough kid, too. But another kid that has been brought up a lot is Armand Membou. Tackle of Missouri, plays right side, and it's a position that we need. The guy is a powerhouse, will run down people so much, will bowl them over. Great player, and I think he could be a solid starter in this league. He reminds me a lot of Mekhi Becton when he first started for the Jets. Very big, powerful guy, great in run blocking, solid in pass blocking, but I think he'll have a better career than Becton, especially since Becton had to get moved to guard, which there's been talk about Membou having to do that as well. But anyway, Membou and Warren have been some of the big names that have brought up. Jackson Dart is another one at 7. I don't think they go quarterback at 7, especially with what you've been hearing from Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and their high praise for Justin Fields. But or Tet McMillan, that's been a big name that's been coming up as well. I don't know. I think he goes higher. I think he goes to the Raiders at pick 6. I don't think they take the smoke for Genty. I think Genty ends up falling to the Cowboys. But the one player that I want to bring up to you guys, and somebody who I think is the best at his position, it's not Armand Membou, it's not Will Campbell. I think the player that is not being talked about enough, and the player, if fully healthy, is the best tackle in this draft. That is Josh Simmons from Ohio State. He is 6'5", 317 pounds. The kid is in my opinion, can play in any different scheme. He is the best all-around tackle in this draft. Can play the left side, can play the right side, which we definitely need, and he's just solid all around. The biggest worry about him is week 5 of this past season, he tore his patella tendon, which is a serious injury for a lineman. And a lot of teams are going to be scared off about that because it's an injury in college to a lineman. And a lot of people say that if you're injured in college, you're going to be injured in the NFL. And most times that's true, but that's not always the case as well. Especially with now how people take care of their bodies a lot better and treat themselves. Josh Simmons could be, if he's healthy, the best tackle in this draft and could be an all-star right tackle for years to come in the NFL. I think could be a leader in the locker room, and he would hold down the right side next to AVT on the right side of our offensive line. He could be a monster. Good in the run game, great in the pass game, and somebody who I think that can be utilized and has great speed to pull out as well and pull around. He's got a lot of power. Now, a lot of people say it's mostly his technique and everything, that he's not really upward powerful. I will take technique as long as it protects Justin Fields. If we get Simmons, this would be the best offensive line that Justin Fields has ever played with in the NFL, in his NFL career. And that's saying something because he went to the Bears. Awful offensive line. And he was able to put up some numbers with them. Went to Pittsburgh. Better offensive line, but still not great. And he went 4-2 with that team. Granted, he didn't put up stellar numbers passing, but he was on verge of throwing, if he played the whole season, over 3,000 yards and rushing for a lot of touchdowns as well. You give Justin Fields a solid line and someone to protect him, and I think Simmons could come in and be your starting right tackle day one. I think this team could flourish. And that's who Jets fans might be upset with Simmons at pick 7. I wouldn't, honestly. If we're talking about M'Bendu at pick 7, I think Simmons is better than M'Bendu. And M'Bendu scares me because nobody really talked about him before the Combine, and then he showed out at the Combine, and everybody's like, oh, he's a top 5 pick now. He's a top 10 pick. Simmons, if he was healthy, I think he would be considered the best tackle in this draft. And that's saying something because Will Campbell was looked at like that too. Then he went to the Combine, didn't really do well, didn't measure out the best. Then he went to his pro day, measured out better, and now people are bringing him up again. Simmons is a player to watch out for, in my opinion, and somebody who I think would be a steal for the Jets at pick 7, because wherever he goes, Jets Chaos and I, Jeremy, had a mock draft. I ended up having Chicago picking Josh Simmons to round out their offensive line at tackle, and I still think that could happen, but I think the Jets should think about Josh Simmons at pick 7 for right tackle, because I think this kid, if healthy, that's the biggest thing, if healthy, I think he could be a steal for years and years to come. But again, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think I'm crazy on my take for Josh Simmons? Do you think I'm right? Let me know down in the comments. Who would you pick at pick 7? And if you're a fan of another team, who would you guys want in this draft? I always love hearing from you guys. But again, guys, thank you so much for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Have a great rest of your day.